if you go back, maybe for example, let's use the United States as an example. You want
Yeah,
to listen to the speech that was made by John F. Kennedy to rally America around his mission to moon. At that
yeah.
time, nobody have gone to the moon. I'm talking of the 60s.
I've
You will
heard the
still have the full record of
the
the
man on the
speech.
moon. Yes, I heard the speech too.
If you want to see maybe the investigation that was done even before them, the record are there. It's supposed to be the property of the citizens of the United States. So if somebody makes statement just maybe 2 or 3 dispensations ago, why can't we have it on record? Does it mean we don't have the Minister of Information, the department or that was supposed to be responsible for that, where we spend billions of naira to fund them? What are the materials that they collected?
And that's actually very interesting because I was just thinking now, before Lai Mohammed became the Minister for Information in Nigeria, it was Labaran Mako who was Goodluck Jonathan's Minister for Information. And where's Labaran right now? And tomorrow, Labaran is going to emerge from wherever he's been, and he's going to tell Nigeria, so when I was minister, we did this with nigger. I mean, come on, you can't say that, right? Y- Because he did nothing. He just lied. That was all he did. And that's the reoccurring theme that we have, that we are packaging President Muhammadu Buhari to sell to Nigerians as one of the great leaders of our country who loved Nigeria, who did such great things. Because what they do is they rewrite history in real time to make it seem as if whatsoever they are doing, or whatsoever they've done, was in the best interest of the nation. And that is why I would come on any podcast that talks about these issues any day, anytime, because I believe that the documentations that we make, the recordings that we make, the content we put out there is going to educate the future generations of Nigerians as to the nature of the country, as it were. So I'll say, Nnamdi Azikiwe became the first president, but under what circumstances? What did it mean to be a president at the time? Did he have any real powers? What influence did he have? Under what conditions did he emerge as president? And and same with some of these questions we can still ask today about the leaders that we have, about the work that they do, because people will now want to whitewash their images, like our president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu say, yeah, I fought the military rule. We brought back democracy in 1999. I was a founding member of NADECO, but today he's considered a tyrant even before he is sworn in to become the president of Nigeria. I mean, you can imagine how bad that is. He's not been sworn in already, but he's considered a tyrant. And that is simply because of the efforts that individuals like yourself are making to document these things in real time and to put out the information that, see, this is the true nature of things before they are done concocting their own lies and putting out falsehood about what actually happened in Nigeria. We, the people of Nigeria, would make our own documentations and will tell the world exactly what has happened, what has transpired. And I'm happy that is reflecting in the way the world is treating world leaders who are reaching out to Nigeria to congratulate us for having elections and to congratulate the president-elect for emerging. I saw the president of Ghana say, congratulate him on behalf of Ghanaians and his family and all that. And Ghanaians disowned him right there on the spot. And they said, we didn't ask you to, we can congratulate him on your behalf, but that election was a sham. We can't accept. We have people from Cameroon reaching out to Nigeria and saying, man, we're condoling with you guys. That was terrible. Like, the president of Cameroon has been, Paul Biya has ruled that country for 40 years now. And he's so old, he went to an event some months ago and did not remember why he was there. Yeah. It's crazy these things happen. Like, but man,
Anyway, the question of Nigeria is so complex that sometimes is it possible not to touch the current politics? Because now, like you said, they packaged Buhari In fact,
Yeah.
the real package is what they are having now, which is Ahmed Tinubu.
This guy is a real deal. And I before the elections happened, I used to tell my friends and my family that it would be nice to see a Nigeria under a Tinubu presidency. Not because I think it's going to be nice, but because I think we deserve everything that we get. Let us have this man so that these people clamoring for him can see firsthand what we've done to ourselves. Because whatever you think about the man, I can assure you is worse. Everything they've said about him, it's actually worse than they are saying it. Because then, they're saying this from an outsider perspective. In real life, he's a lot older, he's a lot sicker, he's a lot more corrupt, he's a lot more desperate. And we can see, because I say to people all the time, when I look at how much people spend to get into office, it gives me a clear idea of what they're going to do when they are in. And then you look at Tinubu, how much did he spend to become president? How many billions did he spend to become president of Nigeria? The amount of money
Say Father Christmas.
yes, the amount of money he spent to be president, he can't recoup that from all his salaries and allowances as president for 8 years. If all that money is calculated and given to him straight up. So why is he spending all this money? All for what? So there's a grand scheme. There is something darker, more sinister that these guys have in the oven for the people of Nigeria. But we just have to wait and see, because then we can take it lying down or we can stand up and fight for a country we can all be proud of. Because unfortunately, there is no other way around it. There is no easy way to do this, unfortunately. But we see where it goes. We hope the judiciary will stand up and do the right thing this time. But even if they failed, well, we'll see.
We see, we see. That is the point. All right, now let's talk about Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe becoming the first president, the making of the first president of Nigeria. What
Hmm.
can we learn from that? How come he was the one that was chosen? How come the people voted for him? What was the thing that actually transpired leading to him becoming the president?
Okay, so that's actually a very interesting part of Zeke's story. Because then, having won election in the Western Nigeria regional parliament, I think in 1947. By 1951, they were due for re-election, and this time around, the way it kind of worked was whatever party had the largest number of seats would send representatives to the National Assembly. And Zeke was desperate to get into the National Assembly. He really wanted that. But unfortunately, there was a break in the politics of the West, because then he had how do you call it now? They had tried to grow a coalition between Zeke's party and Awolowo's party. But then Awolowo wanted to be in the national parliament, as did Zeke. So the agreements did not quite work out, and and then of course Zeke is an Igbo man, so the sentiments came. He's not one of us, so this one na Igbo man, or and then uh, he could not get in. So what happened was he left Lagos and returned to the eastern region the next year, and he quickly got involved in the politics there. And they had some arrangements, because then his party had a stronghold in the east, the NCNC. They had a stronghold in the regional assembly in the east, and then they had persons who were going to resign. Some ministers were expected to resign to make way for him, so that once he returned, they would just pick him and put him in the parliament, and then send him all the way up. And when the ministers would not comply, they got impeached, right? So they were forcefully removed, making way for Zeke to get in. So, and once Zeke was elected to the parliament, he quickly emerged as the premier of the East. Now, in those days there's like the western region, the eastern region, and the northern region. The premier of the west was Obafemi Awolowo. The premier of the north was Ahmadu Bello, and Zik was the premier of the east, and of course by far the most vocal of all of them and the most influential. He's fought. Not taking anything away from the rest of these founding fathers, who of course played their role, but the man Zeke was, he was resilient. He wasn't the kind of person to back down.